We're at the beginning of this journey. 50 countries, 100 cities, traveling family for 2 years.
One of the things that we want to do as parents is expose our children to a lot of variety of different places and people around the world.
As parents, it's not about giving our kids everything they could ever want or have, but it's really about saying, what are the experiences that we could make available to them, pursue for them in a way that broadens their perspective, broadens their horizons, and part of that is travel.
San Diego is a place that I feel like is a wonderful place to bring kids. We had such an incredible family time here. When we first came to San Diego, we fell in love immediately. We thought it was such a pretty city, and we decided to stay in downtown San Diego in the Little Italy area that's kind of right in between the business district and the Gaslamp quarter, and the convention center area is walkable to the new Children's Museum, which is so fun for kids.
We have these rhythms in our lives that are great and good, but as we travel, it breaks the rhythm every single time. And so we are about to embark on this crazy journey of breaking that rhythm in our lives. Every few days, every few weeks, we'll be in a new place, a new city, exploring different things, interacting with locals who are doing some amazing stuff, and really using this YouTube channel as a way of presenting those experiences, not just for us to have, but for us to learn together.
As parents, we feel like one of the best ways that our children can learn is through hands-on experiences with some of the best people that we can find who are doing that particular thing. So in Devon's case, she's 4 years old. She actually turned 5 while we were here in San Diego, and she is an aspiring chef. And so we found the opportunity for her to go and cook with Audrey, who is the owner of Frost Me Gourmet, and it's a beautiful bakery in downtown San Diego, and she invited Devon to be able to come into her kitchen and create a 4-layer cake with her, learn how to build it and do a crumb coat around it. And it was such an incredible experience for Devon to be in an industrial kitchen with an actual pastry chef, someone who has won Cupcake Wars on Food Network's TV show.
Are you making a design of some sort? What are you making?
A cake.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
Ah! You can lick it if you want. All right, I think it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you think we can put it in the fridge? You think you can carry it? I'll help you.
In San Diego, Madison has been looking at paleontology. There are a lot of fossils that have been found in Southern California, and so many of them are actually inland, not on the coastline, because California used to be all underwater. And the paleontologist that we worked with at the Museum of Natural History in Balboa Park, which is in downtown San Diego, was amazing. His name was Chris, and he welcomed Madison into his space, and he let her prepare fossils with him and learn about dinosaur bones and saber-toothed tiger cats and all kinds of interesting things. And she grew so much from that experience. It's ingrained in her head now what paleontology is and what it means to work with fossils and the kind of work that a paleontologist does. So we're so grateful to the museum for letting her have that experience.
Would you like to prep some fossils?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. So the first fossil we're gonna work on is a whale vertebrae. Do you know what vertebrae are?
No.
So vertebrae are the bones that make up our back. So they run along the spine from the base of the skull to the bottom of your back. And this right here is a vertebrae from a whale. If we were to remove all the sediment from the fossil, the whale vertebrae would look something like this. So it has the body vert, and then these are some transverse processes, and then this is where the spinal cord runs through the back of the whale. So what we're going to do today is we are going to remove the sediment from this whale vertebrae with a tool called a scribe. Now this is a compressed air tool, so this little needle right here will vibrate up and down like a little jackhammer, and it will remove the sediment from the fossil, and we will free the fossil from its encasement inside all this dirt. You ready?
So Reagan is our aspiring artist. Since the time she was really little, she has loved pursuing all different kinds of arts, both visual and performing arts. And in San Diego, we were welcomed by Stephanie Bales, who's a professional fine artist and has a gallery and a studio, and she works there in her gallery and studio. And she invited Reagan to come and learn about what her job is as a fine artist and a little bit about her different styles of painting. And they actually sat down in the studio together and painted into watercolor. And it was just so beautiful for them to be able to have that afternoon. At the end of the experience, they exchanged paintings, which was so cute. It was really important for Reagan to be able to give her a piece of her own art, which was a piece of her heart. And for them to be able to have that experience together was beautiful and meaningful. And I could see at the end of it, Reagan was just, her heart was just glowing. It was just overflowing with excitement about what she had just done and experienced. And so it was a really precious time together.
So have you done watercolors before? You have? Okay, perfect. So you know, well, this is I like to use this big palette with lots of colors, and I always use a spray bottle. Have you ever used a spray bottle with watercolors? It's I don't know if it's my special secret, but it's one that I really like to do. One, just to get all the watercolors wet, so that when you put your brush on it, it'll be already good for you to just pick up the paint. So the other thing that I really like, and we can play with this too, is I like to spray the paper so that when you put the paint on it, then sometimes it'll already start to kind of do and move in a way that you want it to, or that it can do on its own. So my favorite part about watercolors is that they like to do whatever they want to do. So sometimes, especially in these types of paintings, I have to really control what I'm doing and really do it like on purpose. But here, the water likes to take over, and you have to just kind of let the water do what it wants to do. And that's kind of a fun and unique thing. So you can see I'm putting that down, and then watch when I spray it. And it kind of starts moving, and you can even play around like this. So this would just be if you want to just do a fun little abstract.
Peyton is our little 2.5-year-old, and she is curious, as all toddlers are, and she loves to play and explore different places. And as we travel around the world, she is exploring world play spaces. And so in every city where we go to, we find these unique, interesting places. Sometimes it's a playground, sometimes it's a garden, sometimes it's a forest. It could be anywhere where it's fun for kids to be able to play and explore. So the one we went to in San Diego, among many, was the Water Conservation Garden, which is a nonprofit organization that has created a beautiful place for people to come totally for free and learn how to work with their gardens in different ways that saves and preserves water. And it's so beautiful. They've got formal gardens, they've got play areas, they've got a little area that has to do with dinosaurs. There's so many different places for the kids to play, and Peyton thoroughly enjoyed it. All our kids did. They got to meet Miss Smarty Plants, who is their educator, and she loves children, and she welcomed them in and showed them around the garden and explored different things. Showed Peyton her little fairy houses that she's got around her garden shed. So it was a great experience to have that opportunity for Peyton to explore that fun play space.
Isn't this a great place to explore? Do you see all the different things around here? Isn't that amazing? So fun. I'm so glad that you came to visit me today. Do you think you'll come back and visit? Did you have fun here today? Yeah. Can we tell Daddy I love you? Good job.
Come see the fairies.
Oh my God.
Janelle and I value experiences. We value the experiences that we've had in our own lives that have shaped us when we were singles. We value the experiences that we had in our early dating, early marriage. And now that we have kids, we are now shaping the experiences that they have the opportunity to have. Things that maybe we never had. And it's not necessarily trying to give them everything, trying to do all the things that we never could, but it's really to say, are there ways in which we could help bring some of those passions to life in the real world with people doing those exact things? Janelle and I want to show the world to our daughters, not through a map or through a textbook, but through real life. Well, what does San Francisco look like? Oh, well, it looks like when we were on the Golden Gate Bridge or when we were on a cable car. What does Seattle look like? Well, it looks like that from the top of the Space Needle or inside the first Starbucks. Or what does New York look like? It looks like this vista from the top of the Empire State Building or from, Carnegie Hall. I mean, there's so much of the world that we want to share, not just as a tourist, not just like traveling around, snapping our photos, posting them on Instagram, but really engaging deeply in the local fabric of what's happening. And so as we're traveling, we want to experience kind of that city and some of the expression of it through the eyes of someone who is deeply invested in that community.